welcome to this video. Now the reason it's been a bit since I uploaded was because my glasses actually broke when I was finishing up Godstorm, which is why we are here to do this video in the first place. I was 3/4 of the way through it, and then my glasses broke the next morning after I went to sleep, so and this pair of glasses, which are fully intact, are not a new pair. They're actually the pair that are just before the ones that just broke a couple weeks ago. I'm just having issues affording new glasses because hours get cut at work, so I'm picking up as many shifts as possible. But yeah, that's what this video is on. Godstorm by Coco. Now I know I said in a previous video somewhere that the Winter Duke was going to be something I probably finished before this, and it seemed like that, but then I just stopped reading. I entered a lot of DNFing after reading Night of the Dragon. So I DNF'd book after book after book, and then I bought the audiobook for Godstorm and read along with that. So that's kind of why I even finished Godstorm, was the audiobook. But I still read along with the audiobook, so I couldn't really read it without my glasses. Because my astigmatism is so high. Anyways, off of the subject of the fact that I couldn't see, and onto the subject of this book. Now, as most people are aware, I love Shadowfrost. I love it to no end. It was my favorite read of 2020. Because I read it in 2020, even though it was released in 2019. So it was my favorite read of the year. So much so that I read it twice. And Godstorm was so amazing. I can't even put it in words. I loved every minute of it. And just the heartache and everything. Oh my god. There's a lot to unpack, because the book follows a lot of characters, but god, it's honestly, I can't even put it into words. So yes, I'm gonna start off this book's talk by talking about Astrid, who we opened the book with her, and at a concert where things go awry because shadow magic and all that fun stuff. But oh my god, that wasn't even a lot of it. I honestly, with Astrid, I was kind of in a zone of constantly wanting to yell at her and just wanting to hold her close and hug her tight. Because sometimes she just does things. Well, it's because I know all the sides of the stories. But it's just she does things that prevent other things from happening. And most of what I'm going to be talking about is towards the middle to the end of the book. But oh my god. Astrid telling Quinlan that what he had to say couldn't have been more important than what she had to do. Which she was going to try and rescue Ryan from the immortal realm, but Quinlan was coming to tell her that he was dying. And also, fucking Quinlan wakes up from his coma and he's dying from the injury inflicted by Shadow. Oh my god. Every time he uses his magic, it could mean the last time, and Quinlan being stubborn and not telling Astrid at all what was happening with him until, like, the last possible last time. Yeah, I honestly want to strangle Quinlan a lot too. I want to strangle a lot of characters. So Astrid and Quinlan, I'm glad they're both alive, and Astrid's heading to Volterra. Quinlan nowhere to be seen, but I'm assuming he's alive because King Eowyn's in his mind, healing, keeping him healed and shit and stuff, so he could see the sun. Because as the god of shadow, he cannot see the sun. And honestly, it's a nice little heartwarming thing to include. God, King Eowyn. I mean, he's not the worst character. No, he's just a character that's kind of there and is willing to do unspeakable things. I mean, it kind of comes with the territory of the title God of Shadow. Basically, he's the king of hell. So, yeah, and King Eowyn's only in Quinlan because that's the only way they could save Quinlan and stop him from dying. And oh my god, when they thought that Quinlan died, Astrid's reaction broke me. Just broke me. Oh. Now, that's really all I'm going to say on Astrid and Quinlan. It was just a lot of heartbreak and a lot of me wanting to strangle both of them. Elisa. So, Astrid's mother, her real mother, I'm kind of glad she's dead. Just tiny bit. I mean, when she died, I didn't feel much towards her like Astrid did, but then again, she's Astrid's mother, so of course Astrid's gonna feel something. But oh my god. So a problem I have with Elisa is that she seemed so. I mean, she's not sane, but she seemed pretty sane for the beginning, and only when she becomes Queen Regent, while Astrid is gone off to Eredor, now that she's gotten news from Rose that Quinlan is awake, she goes and arrests Silas, spreads word that he's been executed, arrests all the other elites, some all in fucking danger, and all because she thinks that there's a spy among them. And honestly, I believe that what she found warranted some sort of check, but also I don't think any of the elites would betray Astrid like that. Personally, I don't think so. But you know what? What do I know? I get fooled by the simplest of things. So, Elisa goes crazy. This is a bunch of shady ass shit. And we find out that Erringsford is the one that saved Elisa and kept her alive, basically, so that she could be Astrid's mother once again. And honestly, I don't know if it was a cursed thing to do, or a good thing, just like Elisa does know. But, God, being stuck in that dungeon for a decade really messed with Elisa's mind. So she saw anything as a threat to Astrid, and oh my god, this woman needs to chill. Of course, she's dead now, so there's not really a whole lot to do on the chilling side. But I wish she had just not been so... I don't know how to say it. It's really hard to explain. But I wish she had just been not... She had just not been so brutal. Like, at all. Honestly, I wasn't really liking Elisa from the moment she decided to arrest Silas. So, her death wasn't that heartbreaking. Though the fact that Ryan stabbed her. I only imagine what that boy's going through. Now, speaking of Orion, let's go to him. We start off his sort of perspective with him having no memories. So when Harry finds him finally, he's fallen in love with the fucking god of shadow, and oh my gosh, I cannot. Ryan, the fact that he fell for the god of shadow, and then once he gains his memories back, he's still unsure, but then he still remembers that he loves Harry, so, and then he mentions an appearance change, which the god of shadow appears as to who you love most. He gets the features of them. So when Ryan saw him and saw some prominent features that Harry has, and said that, God of Shadow got jealous and took away Harry's anemia. God damn it, it's a very hard word to pronounce. Anemia powers, so he is now mortal. He's a mortal being. He's no longer immortal. He doesn't have any of his shadow powers. And also, we learned that before becoming a shadow demon, he had no affinities. He was a hollow, which is as rare as an omnifinite. You know, a lot of these words are hard to say. But, anyways, so there was that. I'm just glad that Ryan and Harry, everyone that I wanted to live. Next, Luna. Now, Luna is the one character that I am still very conflicted on. Pretty sure I said I was conflicted on her in Shadowfrost, but I'm even more conflicted on her in Godstorm. She's quickly becoming the villain, and because King Aowen, you can't really kill him, so you can't do anything about that. But Luna, just why, girl? Why? Why couldn't you just be content to be with your biological father in Abrasios and just learn to forgive Astrid and, you know, maybe become friends with her again? Maybe. At least just... And she says at the end that she's forgiven Astrid, which I sort of believe, but the actions she's taking do not point to any of that. So, we learn that King Aowen can only take his shadowlings once an eclipse happens. An eclipse happens every like century or so, whatever. So he comes during an eclipse, and Luna goes with him, but she bargains for her life, because Eowyn doesn't want to kill her, so she's basically bargaining for her life. Alright, What she bargained for? Not all of it. We don't know a whole lot about that. But, God. The fact that she bargained with the God of Shadow is one thing. But the fact that she is doing what she's doing is awful. I don't trust anything she does. I don't trust anything she says. And frankly, she's a little cuckoo. So, after Luna becomes a shadowling, she takes the throne, she makes her father abdicate the throne to her. Which is fine, alright, I guess. She wants power of all kingdoms. So where does she go next? To fucking Xeris. And let me just say this. The way she goes about it. Like, I appreciate that we're getting a villain that was once a friend of her main character. I appreciate that. I do. But posing as Astrid and then shifting into her Enigne form? No. Just stop. Just no. Stop. Oh, she was your best friend, and also, the whole thing with Captain Covington, no, she doesn't fucking love him. If she had loved him, she never would have acted the way she did and just tossed him out. She loved him while she was a helpless little girl with no magical abilities. And yes, Captain Covington has to play the hero because he's got this hero complex and shit. But doesn't mean you just fucking go off the rails and just. He wants to help. That's my impression, is he wants to help her. But does she let him? No. Now, Luna's that one character that I just can't seem to wrap my head around. Because she does things that I don't even know how she comes up with them. I mean, I could probably wrap my head around it a lot easier if I let myself, but I don't let myself. And oh my goodness. I would just say, Luna, I want to strangle the girl. I know that won't kill her because she's an enigma now, and so her wings have to be ripped off in order to kill her. Or powers taken away by Aowen himself, and then she can be killed by mortal means. But oh my goodness. Just why? I just can't with Luna. Luna is just, no. Just stop. That's what I have to say about Luna, is just stop. And the fact that she calls Astrid out for being the self-sacrifice type was great, but also cruel. Because, God, Astrid's been breaking herself over what happened with Luna and Quinlan. And next, we have Killian and Kane, both of which who are mostly on Luna's end of the story. Now, Killian is another Enigne. Kane has his old boyfriend. He's a sneaky son of a bitch. But God, I really don't like him. But Killian, I like her and I don't like her. I like her because she's badass. I don't like her because of the shit she pulls. This is how my brain works, is if you're a badass, I usually like you. If you're a badass and a shit person, and I'm just conflicted. I don't know how to be anything else. But yeah, Killian, I don't know what to say about her, but it's certainly a thing. I I don't. She's just frustrating. A lot of the Aninias are. Then we have Taryn, and oh, Taryn. Quinlan's brother. Honestly, I love all the family discourse that happened between Rose, Taryn, Quinlan, the twins, and oh my god, the twins, god. The twins, Avon and Avris. They're my favorite characters in this entire series, and only because of what they can do at such a young age. But, so, Taryn is the older brother, but less physically experienced, more mindfully experienced than Quinlan. And God, he gets his brother into shape to get him to tell Istrid that he's dying. But unfortunately it happens too late, so fuck. I swear, a lot of things that happened in this book made me want to slap almost every fucking character. The only character I didn't want to slap was actually Harry. He just went through so much. Like, you can't slap that kid. Well, also the twins. Twins, no, they deserve all of the experimentation that they want. I just love how our introduction to the twins is a completely sentient acid fog. At least I believe that's what it was. And God, I believe they're, what, 8? How old are they? Oh, they're 11-year-olds. Okay, no, they're 11. They're still fucking geniuses. Yeah, it was sentient acid fog. And honestly, oh my god, I love it. I love them for doing. I just love the twins. They're the exact chaotic energy that this book needed inside of all of the freaking angst and evil and good and heartbreak. I really needed the laugh of the twins' experiments. And oh my god. The familial relations with everything. Ugh, so good. I loved it. Now let's just talk about the ending and how freaking this book ends with Astrid waking up in a cell and then escaping with Voltairean princess or queen. No, Voltairean queen. To Volterra to be sanctuary so that they can figure out their next move. And honestly, I'm glad that the Volterra queen is listening to her goddess. But oh my god, so much. I just have a question as to why all this has to happen. Why can't Luna just be good? Honestly, these books wouldn't be anything without the fact that Luna just turns to the dark side. Quite literally, actually, because she becomes a shadow demon. Honestly, this book was phenomenal. It's just as good, if not better, than Shadowfrost, and I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I did. But God, do I want to strangle a lot of characters in this series. Just I want to strangle so much of them. But I can't. Because they are fictional, I am real, I cannot just jump into a book and strangle every single one of them, no matter how much I want to. If I find out a way to do that, then, well, we'll know. Well, anyways, that's the end of this book talk for Godstorm. It honestly was a great book, and if you have not read Shadowfrost or Godstorm but still watch this video to the end, what are you doing? Go read them. Please. They're great. I love Coco so much. She's in Yale, and she's a part of class 2025. I follow her on Twitter, so this is how I know this. So, but God, it's the fact that she's produced such masterpieces is amazing. So yeah, that's it for this book talk. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more content produced by me, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. And yeah, in the description are going to be all of my social links, including the link to my book that I have published / republished. I have a video explaining all of that in the description below as well, but there will be a link to the Amazon's fucking site. There'll be a link to my book, which is published on Amazon. I'm working on getting it in other places, but self-publishing, difficult. Anyways, and I hope you all enjoyed this. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!